Most men think that if they just love a woman enough, treat her well, and make her feel cherished, she'll never leave. But that's not how attraction works. In reality, the men who care the most often end up being the ones women walk away from. It's frustrating, confusing, and feels completely unfair. You give her your heart, your time, your commitment, yet she still leaves for someone who gives her less. Why does this happen? Why do women seem to abandon the very men who would do anything for them? Today we're breaking down the harsh truth behind this dynamic, and once you understand it, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. The hidden cost of overvaluing a woman. Most men believe that love is about giving. They think that the more they care, the more they give. The more they prove their devotion, the more a woman will appreciate them. But in reality, this mindset often leads to the exact opposite outcome. Instead of making her feel lucky to have such a devoted man, it makes her feel something else: boredom, suffocation, or even resentment. The brutal truth is that when you put a woman on a pedestal, she starts looking down on you. There's a psychological principle called perceived value, which explains why this happens. People naturally place more value on things that are scarce, challenging, or difficult to obtain. Think about luxury brands. Why do people desire them so much? It's not because they're just better. It's because they're exclusive, expensive, and not everyone can have them. Now apply this to relationships. If you constantly show a woman that she is the center of your world, that you would do anything for her, and that your happiness depends on her, you are lowering your perceived value. She doesn't have to work for your attention. She doesn't have to earn your love. It's just given to her without effort. And that's the problem. When something is freely given without effort, it's human nature to take it for granted. This is why so many women lose attraction to men who treat them the best. Not because they don't appreciate kindness, but because they don't feel the need to work for it. A man who cares too much, gives too much, and constantly prioritizes a woman's needs over his own is unknowingly making himself less desirable. He's making her feel like he needs her more than she needs him. And that imbalance is where attraction starts to fade. Women want a man who has value outside of the relationship. They want a man who is on his own mission, who has his own purpose, and who chooses them but doesn't depend on them. But when a man overvalues a woman, he often sacrifices his own ambitions, his own standards, and his own sense of self just to keep her happy. And ironically, that's the very thing that makes her lose respect. She sees that he will do anything to keep her, and instead of feeling loved, she starts to feel repulsed. It's the same reason why women get more excited about a guy they had to chase a little, a guy they weren't sure about at first. When a man has options, when he values himself, and when he doesn't immediately give away his love without requiring anything in return, a woman sees him as high status. She feels lucky to be with him. She wants to keep his attention. But when a man is too eager, too available, and too desperate to please, she starts questioning why he is so easy to get. And in that moment, her attraction starts to die. The mistake many men make is thinking that they just need to prove their love more. That if they just show her how much they care, she'll finally appreciate them. But the truth is, attraction doesn't work that way. The more a man tries to win a woman by giving, the more she starts feeling like he is trying to convince her. And when a man has to convince a woman to love him, he's already lost. The attraction-killing trap of emotional neediness. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is mistaking emotional availability for emotional neediness. They think that if they just express their feelings openly, if they are always there for her, if they constantly remind her how much they care, she will feel more connected. But what they don't realize is that this behavior doesn't make them look attractive. It makes them look weak. Neediness is one of the biggest attraction killers, And it's not just about texting her too much or always wanting to be around her. It's about the energy you give off, the energy of desperation. Women can sense when a man's happiness depends on them. They can feel when a man is afraid to lose them. And the moment a woman realizes she has complete control over a man's emotions, she loses respect for him. Women want a man who is loving, but they don't want a man who needs their love to function. There's a huge difference. A man who is emotionally strong can express love, but he doesn't rely on a woman to feel whole. A needy man, on the other hand, looks to his partner for validation, constantly seeking reassurance that she still loves him, that she's not losing interest, that he's enough. And when a woman senses that, she starts pulling away. Why? Because neediness signals weakness, and weakness in the realm of attraction is repelling. Women aren't drawn to men who chase love. They are drawn to men who naturally attract it. A man who is secure in himself, who doesn't constantly seek approval, who doesn't panic if a woman takes longer to respond, is a man who commands respect. But a man who is always available, who drops everything for her, who panics at the slightest sign of distance, makes her feel like he has no other options. And in that moment, she starts seeing him as less desirable. Here's where most men go wrong. They try to fix this by being even more available. If she starts acting distant, they text more. If she seems uninterested, they try harder. If she doesn't appreciate their efforts, they increase their efforts. But all of this does the opposite of what they want. It makes them look even more desperate. Women don't want a man who is too easy to win over. They don't want a man who is always there, always ready to drop everything for them. That kind of behavior makes them feel smothered. Instead, they want a man who has a life outside of them, a man who doesn't need them, but chooses them. And the moment a woman feels like she is your whole world, she starts losing attraction. This is why the men who care the least often end up with the most women. Not because they are rude or don't care at all, but because they don't give off the energy of neediness. They have their own priorities, their own goals, their own sense of self-worth that doesn't rely on a woman's validation. And that's what makes them attractive. Why? Women chase the men who challenge them. Women don't fall in love with comfort. They fall in love with excitement. And the reality is, most men who care too much end up being too predictable, too easy, and too safe. They provide stability, they never rock the boat, and they make sure she always knows how much they love her. On paper, this sounds like the ideal relationship, but in practice, it kills attraction. Why? Because attraction thrives on uncertainty. When a woman is too sure of a man, when she knows exactly how much he loves her, when she never has to wonder if he'll still be there, she loses the thrill. It's the same reason why people get bored with things they have unlimited access to. The excitement fades, the curiosity dies. And once a woman stops feeling curious about a man, she stops feeling attracted to him. This is why women chase the men who challenge them. It's not because they want to be treated badly. It's because they want to feel invested. They want to work for a man's attention. They want to feel like they earned his love, not like it was just handed to them. When a man is unpredictable, when he isn't always available, when he has his own life outside of the relationship, he naturally becomes more attractive. Think about the guys women obsess over, the ones they can't stop thinking about, the ones who always seem to have options. They aren't the ones sending good morning texts every day. They aren't the ones constantly reassuring a woman of their love. Instead, they are the ones who make women feel uncertain. Not in a toxic way, but in a way that keeps them engaged. A man who challenges a woman doesn't put her above himself. He has standards. He has boundaries. He doesn't just give away his time and energy without expecting something in return. He knows that women don't truly appreciate things that come too easily. He makes them work for his attention. And because of that, women respect him more. Contrast that with the man who always says yes, who always puts her first, who never makes her wonder if she has to work for his love. That man might be sweet, but he's also boring. And boredom is the enemy of attraction. A woman may say she wants a man who always makes her feel safe and secure. But what she's really saying is that she wants a man who excites her and makes her feel secure. That balance is key. If a man is all excitement but no security, she won't commit. But if he is all security and no excitement, she won't desire him. This is why so many men who care deeply about their women end up losing them. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they made things too easy. They took away the chase. They removed the challenge. And without that, a woman's interest starts to fade, no matter how much she once cared. The psychology of hypergamy and why women always seek more. A lot of men believe that once they win a woman's heart, the job is done. They think that if she loves them today, she'll love them forever. But this is one of the biggest misconceptions about relationships. Women don't love the way men do. Men fall in love and stay in love, often without questioning it. Women, on the other hand, are always evaluating. Is this the best I can do? This is where the concept of hypergamy comes in. Hypergamy is the instinctual drive women have to seek out the highest value partner they can get. It's not about gold digging, and it's not just about money. It's about securing the best possible future, whether that's through a man's status, confidence, strength, ambition, or overall ability to lead. And if a woman starts feeling like she has settled for a man who isn't operating at his highest potential, her attraction for him will slowly fade. Now, this doesn't mean that women are constantly looking for the next best option. But it does mean that women are biologically wired to be attracted to growth, strength, and ambition. A man who is constantly improving himself will naturally keep a woman interested. But a man who gets comfortable, a man who stops pushing himself, stops setting goals, stops striving for more, will start to lose her respect. This is why women leave men who are too comfortable. The guy who gets into a relationship and stops working out, stops being ambitious, stops maintaining his edge. He might still love his woman deeply, but she will slowly start seeing him as less attractive. And once that happens, hypergamy kicks in. She starts noticing other men who do have that ambition, that drive, that sense of purpose. She might not act on it immediately, but the attraction shift has already started. This is also why women leave men who idolize them. When a man makes a woman the center of his world, he is unintentionally telling her, "I have nothing more valuable in my life than you." And while that might sound romantic, it's actually a red flag for attraction. Because if she is the most important thing in his life, that means he has nothing else going on. No bigger mission, no higher goals, no reason to be respected beyond just being her boyfriend or husband. Think about the men that women fantasize about. They aren't the guys who sit around waiting for their girlfriend's text. They aren't the guys who drop everything just to be available at all times. They are the men who are chasing something bigger, their goals, their passions, their purpose, and that's what makes them so attractive. Women don't just want love. They want to feel like they are part of a man's journey to greatness. This is why relationships require constant self-improvement. It's not enough to win a woman once. You have to keep winning her. And you do that by never losing the drive, the ambition, and the self-respect that made her attracted to you in the first place. Because if she ever starts feeling like she's outgrown you, that she's evolved while you've stayed the same, her instinct will tell her that she can and should do better. How to keep her attracted without losing yourself. So, if caring too much, being too available, and making her the center of your world pushes her away, how do you keep her interested while still being a loving, committed partner? The answer is balance. the ability to care without being needy, to give without overgiving, and to love without losing your own value. First, you need to prioritize yourself. This doesn't mean ignoring her or treating her badly. It means making sure you are never putting her above your own self-respect. The moment a woman feels like she's the most important thing in your life, she starts losing attraction. Why? Because women don't want to be a man's purpose. They want to be a part of a man's already meaningful life. If you drop everything for her, she won't see it as love. She'll see it as weakness. The most attractive men are the ones who are on a mission. They have goals, passions, and ambitions that go beyond the relationship. A woman should feel like she is joining you on your path, not that she is your path. This is why men who stay focused on self-improvement, whether it's in their career, their fitness, or their personal growth, naturally hold on to a woman's respect and attraction. Next, you have to maintain a sense of mystery. This doesn't mean playing games, but it does mean keeping her on her toes. Predictability is the enemy of desire. If she always knows exactly what you're thinking, if you always text her at the same time, if you never surprise her with a challenge, she'll start feeling too comfortable, and comfort kills passion. Keep her engaged by having a life outside of her, by not always being available, by making sure she misses you sometimes. Another crucial factor? Setting boundaries. A lot of men lose their woman's respect because they let things slide that they shouldn't. They let her walk over them, test them, and push them around, all because they're afraid of losing her. But here's the truth. Women don't respect men who are afraid to stand up for themselves. If you let her talk down to you, if you let her disrespect you, if you let her treat you like an afterthought, she will lose attraction. On the other hand, when you set clear boundaries, when you show her that you won't tolerate disrespect, she will actually be more drawn to you. The last key is detachment. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care. It means that you should never be so emotionally dependent on a woman that losing her would destroy you. When a man gives off the energy that he could walk away if necessary, that he's in control of his own happiness, women feel that. And that's the kind of man they stay loyal to. The second you give off the energy that you need her more than she needs you, the power shifts, and that's when she starts pulling away. Attraction is not just about being good-looking, rich, or charming. It's about how you make her feel. And the men who make women feel the most attraction are the ones who stay in control of themselves. They care, but they never overcare. They give, but they never overgive. They love, but they never let love control them. And when you master this balance, you'll never have to worry about a woman leaving you again, because you'll have become the kind of man she never wants to lose.